This is a Headgum podcast.
Hello,
pornographic.
Halflings! It's me, Jasper William Cartwright, and I am joined today by...
Jeremy Cobb, but Cal Cello calls me your fiendly neighborhood DM.
Ooh,
It's a good one.
very appropriate.
Very appropriate.
And...
Olivia Kennedy, but everyone calls me the brand new Halfling. It's me.
Oh my good gracious. It
Hello.
done happened, everyone. There are 3 halflings back in the room.
It's
Liv
been so
Kennedy,
long.
Welcome.
Thank you for having
Welcome
me.
to the chaos.
Delighted to be here. Delighted to be part of the chaos.
Yes. You have
Thank
to
you for joining us in the slop.
in
Oh,
the soup. In the soup.
Climb in
yes.
here with us.
Oh, of course. Oh,
Wallow.
it's lovely. It's like a little jacuzzi, a weird, smelly jacuzzi. Great.
Weird, yeah, there's some sweet
Oh.
potato in here. There's some
lovely.
yams. Some
We're
peas.
growing them.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, no, we're
Alright.
growing other halflings. Yeah. they're
Oh,
the
I
ones.
see.
Like Urukai.
Yeah.
Like Liv, you came out of like a tree. We like ripped open the sack. You like strangled you strangled Jamal as like you were being just
Slipping and sliding all over the place. Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Terrible.
dear. Well, there is genuinely no better way to introduce yourself as a halfling, I think, than slipping and sliding all over the place. And just a soup of chaos. That is more
a
than
very, very
appropriate.
slippery podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But welcome, Liv. This is so exciting. We've been sort of talking about this now for a little while, and I think we've all been very, very excited to get you on board.
We've been talking.
We've
You know,
been
we were talking.
You know, we've
and
been having
we
conversations.
We decided like maybe it was
Aw.
time to take it to the next level.
Oh my god, you've been talking about me? Oh my god.
And like now we're like official and we're
Super
totally together and
gay.
everyone can see it.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased.
I'm so happy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been very exciting. I'm sure that everyone is going to be extremely excited to hear this news that you're coming on board. I've started to get the odd message of just like, hey, guys, a third halfling at any point? Like 3 Black Halflings? You gonna do that? Like, you gonna do that?
Yep. Just gonna stick call it 3 Black Halflings with 2 Black Halflings.
Yep. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna
As
slide
many
it on in there.
halflings as you want it to be. It's all part of your imagination. You know, it's role play experience, isn't it?
You
just
are the
representative.
third Black Halfling. You,
Yeah.
the listener.
Yes, exactly.
Find yourself in the 3rd Black.
Yes.
Aren't we all halflings?
We're all a little halflings.
Yeah.
We're all a
little
little bit
halflings.
halfling. Yeah.
Or at least we were.
Spectrum.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So yeah, welcome to the family, Liv. Welcome to the club. This is very exciting to have you on board. And how is like, are you excited to get started? How are you feeling?
Oh
What's
god. Yeah, I'm excited. to be
Imagine you was
started.
like, nah.
Yeah. I'm here just, as a favor.
I'm
No,
starting to think I made a mistake.
As a favor.
no, I'm delighted. I'm super happy to be here. No, yeah, this is the dream. I mean, I'm sure both of you are aware, but this is the dream. I just get to talk about D&D all day not all day, maybe all day, depends.
Yeah, sometimes we do all day.
yeah,
We'll see where this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Depends
Who
how much
knows?
content we need to put out.
Yeah.
It's a 24-hour podcast. Everyone's sucking in.
Oh no.
Oh, imagine.
Check the Patreon for a stretch goal. Damn it! Why?
That is a terrible idea.
Oh,
I know,
God.
truly, that would like the thing. These podcasts already go way too off the rails.
Yeah.
I don't even know what would happen during a 24-hour.
What if we
podcast.
I was gonna be like, what if we like swap in every like few hours, but then it would just be one person talking absolute nonsense.
Well, I think you'd have to do it. 2
Yeah.
people stay on
Yes.
whilst one sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
like
more
8-hour
sense.
shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it makes
Oh.
more sense than the lonely late night
So
radio
bad.
DJ just slowly going and like crazy.
yeah. I don't think I could do it. Honestly, I've listened to them late night radios, and I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Whew.
Also,
Yeah.
that means that one person pulls 2 full shifts and another person pulls a shift and a half, and another
Mm.
person just pulls a single shift. Like if we're just doing if we're doing an 8, we'd have to divide it up differently.
Well, Jeremy,
Because
you
if
don't
it's-
sleep anyway, so you can do the 2 full
It's true,
shifts.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll open and close us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
we could do like an 8-hour one, and we could call it like the Night's Watch or something, because then we would be like taking watch. Like,
Oh wait, I'm wrong. Everybody
Oh.
would do a full shift. It would just be broken up. So the third person would
Yes.
do 4 hours and then go
Ah.
away for 8 hours and then come
Mm.
back and then do like another 4 hours. I
That's
think.
definitely the best shift, I think.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
think
not,
so.
not doing having to do like a block of 8 hours or something.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Oh,
whoo,
that's
boy,
really
that'd
great.
be wild.
That's
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, we thought, given that this is Liv's first episode with us,
Hmm.
that we would roll back the years, or year, I guess, to when we did our little exploration of our DMing style and do the same thing
Roll
with
back
Liv.
the 18 months.
The 18
Give or
months, yeah, there we
take.
go. Yeah, give or take 18 months. Give or take a
Mhm.
month or two.
Yeah.
And find out a little bit about Liv's DMing style, general play
Mhm.
style, what kind of games she likes, all of that kind of stuff, because we thought that could be a nice way to get to know the new halfling in the room. So, first of all, Liv, why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe like the kind of games you like before we get into like DMing? Like, what is your ideal D&D table like? What's the feel of it?
Okay, right. So when you say D&D table, do you mean just like
Or like TTRPG
the-
table. You don't have to.
Okay,
It doesn't have to
right,
be.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like what kind of wood?
Oh yeah, no, mahogany.
Well, I mean, yeah. Who wouldn't?
Mahogany.
Who
Yeah.
wouldn't take a good mahogany table to play D&D
Mhm.
on?
Exactly.
The sound of those dice on a mahogany table. Ooh,
Oh, ooh.
oof.
Oh
Yeah, that
god,
takes-
then you'd have to have like a really good echo in the room so you could really hear that reverb. But yeah, no. My ideal D&D table or TTRPG table is surrounded by, well, actually I was going to say friends, but like friends or people I don't know, so people that will become friends, because it's like such an
Ah.
ideal way to make friends with people.
True.
Which is something I really enjoy. Yeah, I think it's just like a bunch of snacks, like a GM that you can trust. Maybe it's me. Hopefully people trust me as their DM. That'd be great. But yeah, like a GM that has really like, gotten invested in your character and really wants to see you do well and grow, and like knowing that you're about to set out on a really cool journey. And being complemented by a bunch of, well, other characters that you're excited to play against. It's it's always something I'm looking forward to. And also, yeah, a character that I'm excited to play. That is
that's a.
that's
Are
good
you
stuff.
a min maxer? Do you like or are you like are you not too bothered about like stats and stuff? Because I got the itch a little while ago, and now I can't stop build. Like all of my characters have to be like strong boys in some way.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
no,
I just feel a
totally.
bit like it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like my bard at the moment, my bard rogue, she's got like
Your
20
bogue?
charisma, my bogue. She's got her full 20 charisma. Are you okay?
Sorry, yeah.
Jasper just took a drink at the wrong time.
That just really got me, and then I wasn't prepared to. I didn't want to shower my computer with water, so or my mic, in fact. So
We could
I had
call
to
it a
hold in.
brogue, but I think a bogue sounds funnier.
Yeah.
A brogue. That's like the posh version, if you want to.
Yeah,
be
a
like,
brogue is an actual word.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
a bogue, I've never heard of a bogue.
I haven't
No,
heard of a bogue
it
before.
sounds like the Scottish slang for feeling ill. Like a
Oh
bogue.
yeah.
Yeah,
Feel
that's
a bit
thing.
bogue.
Feeling
Yeah,
a bit
that
bogue,
does.
yeah,
That does
yeah.
sound like that definitely does. They've
Yeah.
got boke, which is very similar, which is the
Yeah.
Scottish word for being sick or like
Yes,
retching,
that's
I
the one.
think.
Mhm.
So yeah, very similar.
Yeah, found that out recently. Anyway, that sounds like there's a big story behind it. There's really not. I just found it out recently.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was
Long
underneath the
history of
table at a
proud
chicken
bogues.
cottage in Aberdeen, and
Mhm. Oh yeah, it's a whole adventure that I'm not going to dive into now on this podcast that
Yeah.
relies on fun stories. But yeah, no, my bogue, she's got super high charisma, and like at the moment it's like I think my DM stopped asking me to roll persuasion on things because he's just like, there's no point. Even it's like I've got like a plus 12 to persuasion, and then I have a stone of immense luck on top of that, which adds another plus 2 to everything I roll.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What level are you?
I am level 11 now. I think we just got to
Oh,
11.
dang.
yeah. So with
Um,
expertise and with expertise in a
Yeah.
in
Are you an
persuasion.
eloquence bard?
No, I am a glamour bard.
Okay.
Ooh.
Eloquence is even like when you
Eloquence
said
is even more
persuasion,
broken.
I'm like,
Because
you
then
wouldn't be able to
'cause-
roll below a 22
Yeah.
with an eloquence bard. which is just a joke.
Yeah, it
That's
would
a
be.
joke.
Yeah, 22. Wow. Yeah, that would be wild. That would be so wild.
Yeah.
So Glamour Bard, what kind of rogue?
What kind
Or
of
are you
rogue? Oh,
even
swashbuckler.
Hey,
Ooh,
can't go wrong.
interesting
Can't go wrong dipping
combo.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, it works pretty well as well because like you have the swashbuckler thing where you add your charisma bonus to your initiative bonus. So she's first pretty often. Actually, but I tend to roll quite poorly for initiative. So I'm like, again? I'm last again.
This generally does happen. There are like I was listening to a show earlier, and literally someone was saying how like whenever it comes to, like a certain thing, the dice just seem to abandon them, like it is absolutely mine the same. If I have a cool idea in mind, if I like it will happen that the dice conspire to the point where, and this is my favorite one in Outlaws and Novelists. Minor spoiler. I tried to do something cool, and the dice succeeded so well at stopping people from stopping me that I ended up doing the thing and still failing. I got like nat 20s to avoid my party members who were trying to stop me, but then beefed it trying to do the thing that I was. It was I was like, the dice. When I tried to do something cool, don't even get me started on trees. If there's a tree involved, I can't roll. I can't.
Please expand.
I just
expand
eat.
on the tree problem.
I eat dirt.
No.
Honestly, I do. I just eat dirt every single time
Trees
I
are
try to get
his-
every tree or something.
Everything, climbing especially. If it's like if he climbs anything, really, it's a bad deal. But trees, like the first time he tried to climb a tree, what he tried to do was dramatically swing out of a tree to attack some bats. I think he rolled a natural 2 on his acrobatics and face planted on the ground.
Yep.
He absolutely ate dirt.
I think you actually remember. I think I remember you actually saying that I caught my foot in it and was hanging upside down from the rope, and then spent the rest of the battle trying to get down. And by the time I did, they'd finished the bats, and I was like,
Oh.
Good
Another time he fell afoul of a parrot. Who then started like following him around for the rest of the session.
I think I tried to chase it for a while, and then it started following me. It was a whole situation.
Oh wow, how the tables have turned! Yeah,
how the turntables. Anyway,
yeah.
So a little bit of like to maximize some characters. That's
do.
Good.
Yeah. I am quite conscious of like, because I like to think I focus on like role play, and I do, but I'm also like I want to be able to do some damage in some combat.
But this is the thing. If you like role play, it's not going to stop me from role playing if I have max strength. You know what I mean? It's not going to stop me. It just means that
proficiency in
if diplomacy fails,
it's not going to stop me from role playing if I have max strength. There's something about that is like there's something the way you said it sounds like such like a it's like desperate. It's like no, you don't understand. We can do both, please. Let me have. I need this.
I need this. But honestly, because that's genuinely what it's like. Like it's honestly like I'll go to make a character, I'll just make a character sheet and be like, cool, that character's done. And then I will be sat there for like 15 minutes, like wringing my hands, being like, but I could if I took and I got that, and then let me just message the DM, check if I can have an uncommon item. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so bad. It's like a compulsion that I have now. It's terrible.
Absolutely. Like, something that I do roll well for usually is my stats. Like, I think, you
me too. I've rolled monstrously on stats recently.
The last 2 actual plays that we've done with Jasper, he has had absolutely bonkers stats.
Which, to be fair, absolutely makes up for the fact that Mooty ate shit for so long because I rolled so badly on my stats.
No.
So it definitely made up for that.
Yeah. No, it like recently, like we were drawing up like one-shot characters and something, and my DM like messaged me like, "What's it like to be like God's favorite? Like when it comes to like stats? Like what's wrong with you?" I was like,
in NADPOD parlance, Dice Christ has chosen you.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yes. Dice Christ smiles upon you.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, that's
and that's one of the biggest things to roll well on. Let's be honest. Like if you roll well on, like the thing is, all you need is just to hit like a sweet 17. Get a sweet 17 in there, and you are cooking. You know what I mean? Then all you need to do is get 1 or 2 14s, and you're like, you'd be more than happy with that. Yeah. But man, I've hit a couple. I've hit 18s, and it's just like there is. Oh man, I do a lap. I take a laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I roll an
There's
18,
a
I'm
full
like,
praise breakdown, like the band as he's just doing the full laps. I have a question about this, Liv, and also for you, Jasper, but mainly for Liv, because this is something that is, in terms of like the min-maxing conversation, I think it's absolutely fine for a person to not do that, but it does. I feel like D&D as a game incentivizes min-maxing in a way that like Powered by the Apocalypse does not. Where like, or systems that will like reward you for failure, where it's like, oh yeah, if you fail you actually get something for your failure. D&D, sure, they'll tell the DM you can give them something for their failure or like put partial successes in there, but it's not ultimately like your stats are intrinsically tied to how effective your character is, to such a degree that sometimes you can try and make a character that you want to be good at something, but if they don't have the stats for it, no matter how hard you role play, unless the DM just decides to forego dice rolls or cheat essentially on your behalf, it doesn't really like the mechanics hold your character back.
No, I do agree with that. Like there's you mentioned Powered by the Apocalypse. Monster Hearts 2 has a system where like I think if you fail a roll, you can like take a string on someone or something like that.
Yes.
And the string is like a thing that will help you going forward with that character when you like interact. And that system is really cool. And like you say, they reward you for failure and stuff. But
I think you actually get closer to your ability as well. I think if you fail in Monster Hearts, because the whole premise is like it's a bunch of angsty teenagers that are all secretly like ghosts or vampires or werewolves or whatever. And so like if you beef it loads of times, you get closer to like being able to use like turn into a werewolf or something, which is really fun.
Level up things
which makes sense because like let's be honest, like failing stuff as a teenager is like essential, you know what I mean? Like every teenager has to fail and be taken down a few pegs so that they enter adulthood as like humble. Because if teenagers took their arrogance into adulthood, they would have issues. Like you get away with stuff when you're a teenager, you don't get away with that shit when you're an adult. People's patience be wearing real thin, so you have to.
Well, if you're rich, sometimes you do, which is even scarier. When you carry that attitude into adulthood, it's like,
no.
Oh no, you're the same, aren't you? Oh no,
these are the monsters.
Like no, that's another part of Monster Hearts 2 I adore as well, because like the sense of self-importance from being secretly like a supernatural creature is absolutely something that teenagers carry with them. That's definitely what was going on with me. Like, oh, you don't understand me. I've got some stuff going on. Okay.
Gosh.
Man,
but yeah, just gonna go fangs and fur.
And my body's changing. Okay,
I'm about to go into a cocoon. Gosh, it happens to everybody.
That's what happened to me before I joined you both. Like that was my cocoon.
You crawled out of a cocoon. I legitimately. In high school, this is actually just kind of a sad story. I used to I would just be unhappy a lot of the time, and I would go into the big bathroom stall because we would have like handicapped bathrooms, but there were like hardly any handicapped people at my school. So I'd just be in the handicapped bathroom and I would sit there for like 20 minutes wishing that I could like spin a chrysalis and just sit in the corner of the bathroom for like the next few months and let everything go by and just like go to sleep.
Buddy, no.
That happened so frequently in high school. I would just sit there dreaming about basically hibernating in a chrysalis and metamorphosizing for the next 5 to 6 months.
Mood, but like also
fair play Jeremy, like younger Jeremy though, like I just like went into my room, turned off all the lights and played My Chemical Romance. Like yours is way better. Like at least you were thinking of something beautiful or kind of like, you know, you were elevating yourself somehow, or I don't know, but like
everyone have one of these? Because like I used to go into my room, turn the lights off, listen to music, and like put myself into like different like young adult like novels and just like imagine that I was a part of them. That was my thing.
What were your favorite young adult novels at the time?
At the time, but unfortunately this is going on. Harry Potter was at the top of the list. Hunger Games was up there. There was one called Fallen. There was one called oh god, was it like some stuff like Unbound, and like they were all like basically the same. This
is like this is like late 2000s, early 2010s then.
Yeah.
where we're talking like the
Twilight.
the beginning of the YA boom, essentially. That was like brought on
Mm-hmm.
with, I mean, Harry Potter obviously cleared the ground for it, but then Twilight, I think,
Came
broke the
bulldozing
formula.
in.
Yeah, Twilight and Hunger Games broke the formula where like you'd have umpteen Twilight clones and like that are all like, oh, it's a mythical creature in a high school situation, and then umpteen Hunger Games clones where it's
I
like
think
some kind of dystopia.
Yeah.
mine was the Vampire's Apprentice. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
The one where
Was
he
that
goes to a circus.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. That was
was-
that was one of my jams for
There
sure.
was also like there was like the Lord Lost series as well. That was like it was like super horrific horror, but like geared towards like a younger audience. And I was like, why am I reading this? This is terrible. There's so much gore. No.
Yeah, I think I remember
Like
trying to read the
Animorphs.
Darren Shan books at one point.
Yeah.
Those were like scary ones or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, that's the same series, the Darren Shan one. Yeah. Started off with
Yeah. Oh, this is funny. So I remember I read those books and was like, oh, this is kind of fun, but it's like not really that scary. And I remember my mum laughed at me and handed me a massive book, this huge book, and was like, here you go, read this. And I was like, okay, fine. So I started reading it. I can tell you now, I have never been so scared in my life, to the point where I slept outside, propped up against my mum's bedroom door, because I was too embarrassed to go in to her room, but I couldn't be on my own, and I needed to be. And the book was Cujo by by Stephen King. Holy balls! I read like a quarter of that book and was like, oh my god, there's dogs everywhere.
Yeah, did that ruin dogs for you? Or
Oh man, it was so. No, I absolutely obsessed with dogs. I love them.
Cool, same,
They're all good boys. He
He starts crying as soon as he sees them out of fear, but he pushes through it.
But I get through it. I
cry through like love. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But man, that book messed me up. So I couldn't even finish it. I was just like, this is truly horror. And I didn't think that reading a book could scare me as much as watching something. But then I realized how good my imagination is, and I was like, wow, I took this to a new level. This is not good, because now I'm imagining me in this scenario. Like, I'm in every scenario. This is not good.
Jasper, you're in the car. You're in the car with your child, Jasper.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, please no.
Worse.
DMing. Live, tell us what you're DMing.
That's like Alien Isolation. That's why I don't want to play Alien Isolation like
really
with
wanna play
VR, where like
Dude,
you're
I played it in VR. It was honestly horrendous. Yeah, I played it in VR because I don't know. I'm sure I might have even said this before, but basically, do you know Horsham, Liv? Do you know Horsham? Just next to Crawley on the map. Gatwick.
Oh yes,
Crawley.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Horsham is the people that developed Alien Isolation, the game, are based in Horsham, my hometown.
Oh no way!
And I used to work in game there, and they always used to come into game, and we used to give them discount because we were like, hey, you're cool game developers. And then they were like, hey, do you want to come and check out this thing we're working on? And we were like, hell yeah. And so they took us up to the studio, and then they were like, oh yeah, we're thinking about making a VR element. They ended up I don't think they mass released the VR element. They might have done on PC maybe, but basically Sega pulled their funding to make the VR version of the game. So I played like a beta version of it, and oh my god. But at that point, they still had a mic inside the headset. So if you even your breathing could be heard by the alien. And I remember at one point, one of the guys watching was just like, hey Jasper, and I was like, no! And I like screamed, and I remember the alien being like, I was like, like it was so bad. Like it was genuinely. I remember I've never been one to have a problem with VR, but I remember like throwing that thing off of my head, being like, nope.
I don't know how you made it through the like I
hiding in a locker.
Yeah.
End of days stuff. I was truly seconds away from just crapping my pants. It was so scary.
Oh gosh, I've been asked to like stream like all of Outlast before. It's absolutely terrible. So in a like a VR situation, I would cease to exist. It's simply I can't be doing that. Nah.
I'd be down for streaming some horror games with you, Liv. Like if you're also there.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think I can do it on my own.
We
And
just
I'm
wanna
just
be
Even
watching.
though
together.
people are in the chat, like I don't think I could do it. I don't think I
I'm on the call, or I'm on the stream just making fun of everybody, like with I'm providing color
Please.
commentary.
Yeah,
Please.
you're just like there with popcorn, like.
I'm the Michael Jackson meme. just
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah.
Which is, and yeah. I have found like a kind of like hack though for when I'm playing it, although it would look really weird because like I would just not look at the screen. I would look over the top of like my camera, just like I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure I hope everyone's having fun. It's
It doesn't sound like a hack, Liv. That sounds like you're just afraid
just
to
not
look at the
looking-
screen of the
Yeah,
game
I was
you're
just
playing.
looking at the screen.
That's a
Life hack.
disadvantage you're
Anymore.
imposing
Yeah.
on yourself.
Check out this life hack. It's just like, well, you just don't do it. Why are you what?
It's a really good life hack. Check out my YouTube channel. Yeah, no.
Where I
Yeah,
play
you can't
games
do
without
that
looking at
with
the screen.
VR. You can't do that with VR. We have I have Resident Evil VR on my PlayStation. And like we've put people in it, and it's so funny watching them do this thing where they like turn away from the scary thing and bring their hands up to cover their eyes and just sort of hit themselves in the face with the VR and realize they can still see. Like they're just now looking at the floor that's like covered in blood or something. You know what I mean? Like it's such a funny instinct that we have to just turn away. You know, thinking like, oh, it's a game, it's fine. Turn away. Holy shit, it's still there. Yeah, it's real. I would love to get Jeremy in a VR because I don't feel like Jeremy's easily scared, but I'd be interested to know whether Jeremy in VR would be a bit like,
Yeah.
because
That would be very.
right,
I'd be down for that.
Okay, we'll make this happen. We'll definitely make this happen. Anyway,
What about
DMing.
this,
I
yeah,
think.
this DMing style. Liv.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you prepare for a DMing session?
Okay. Well, I've been terrified of DMing for years. Because I was just like, I don't get how like DMs account for every single thing that their players will do, and I don't get how much stuff you have to plan, and like I would try planning and I'd be like, well, this isn't enough, blah blah blah, and then I was like, I just have to relax and just have to give up. Well, not give up on trying to prepare for everything, but like just give up.
The less effort, the better.
Yeah.
Just don't even try.
Honestly, but like it sounds bad, but genuinely it super helped me like when I was like coming to terms with like, okay, you can DM, you can do this. So I do like to plan, I like to have the world, like if I have the world figured out and like, the places people could potentially go and NPCs that might pop up, then like I'm good to go. I kind of just let my players do whatever they want to. I think I mentioned
Very
to you
sandbox
before.
heavy kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like
And
they
improv heavy,
create
I'm
the
guessing.
world. Very improv heavy. I love a good improv sesh. Like the RP moments are like the best ones. Like I just love watching like my players just RP with each other and with my silly NPCs. Like that's my favorite part. Like
Yeah, I often find that I'm better at improving like big or emotional or whatever moments because I feel like I can be in it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like I'm just focusing on it. So like I'll tend to be like, okay, I know this is kind of going to happen, but I'm not going to plan like the who's, the hows, and the wherefores because if I do, then when we get there, I'm like, okay, right, they're coming in through this entrance, which means this, and then okay, he's going to be standing with his back to the thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm slightly like complicating it in my head to the point where I can't like just immerse myself as like as a DM and be like, right, what is cool that could happen in this moment? What's a cool thing that could be here? What's a revelation? What's and I'll have stuff in my head, but yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of the improvisation.
Like that sounds like the kind of thing that I strive for. Like that is the goal for me to like do like a really like intense roleplay session where everyone's left like, oh my god, but it always turns into me being like, hey, I'm the king, what are you doing here? You want to save the realm or what?
Hey, you guys can help me. I got a problem with my realm.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Can you fix it?
Is there a cream?
You're like you're holding the realm like,
You're like, oh,
like
you
holding
take
it away from you.
You take it.
No, you have it.
Sorry, sir. You want me to take the realm?
Yeah, pick it up.
Yeah,
pick it
just take it,
up,
like,
you
clean
know.
it, and fix it,
Like,
and make it
you
better.
know,
Why is
gifted,
why is it
whatever.
wet, sir? Why is the realm the realm wet?
That's what I'm saying, you know, like why is it wet?
I can't get it to dry.
It's just constant wet. It's ridiculous. I gotta get it, take it away from me.
The
Yeah, so
realm is wet. That's the name of the campaign. The realm is wet.
The realm is
You're
wet.
trying to figure out how to dry it. First of all, you have to figure out what it's wet with. And then, and
that
then you
is
have to.
that's the
Milk.
season 1 finale. Like you find out what it's wet with. Do you see
Turns
milk?
out the realm is actually dry. It's you who are wet.
Now that's the kind of like switch it on its head, intense roleplay that I'm after, Jeremy.
People are like crying in this.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, I was not prepared for that. Oh my god.
I spent my whole life trying to be dry, and now I find out I'm wet. Just ugly crying.
My whole family is wet, and I'm the only one who's dry.
My little sister, my baby, they're all wet.
Who am I? Who am I?
My unborn child is wet.
Am I crying? I don't know because I'm wet. I don't know.
You just feel the
Wait.
tears on the
I
inside.
can't even tell if I'm crying. That's so bad. Just wait. Why is this the climax of a campaign?
Just like slow zoom out on the campaign. And
And everything's just uncomfortably shiny because
yeah.
of how wet it is.
And everyone's slipping around. It's like, yeah, it's a rough time for everyone.
I have no idea why that was so funny. Like I just thought back on the joke and was like, I don't even know what part of the joke was so funny.
Got me.
But I'm now crying. I am now wet.
How can you tell? You're also wet.
I don't know.
Oh, I feel like there's some kind of like water kingdom, like water ganassi stuff going on here. It's all water ganassi.
Oh god. Ooh, I just hope it's not piss. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. You won't find out until the end of season 1, Josh.
We just don't know.
It might be.
It might
Could be, could well be.
Could even be Kevin Costner.
I was gonna say the king is Kevin Costner. Absolutely.
Yeah, the king is Kevin Costner sounding like this.
It's me, Kevin Costner. Oh boy. Okay, so other than wet campaigns, what else do you tend to run?
Dry, sometimes dry. No,
Sometimes
yeah,
dry.
no.
Are your players wet when you play, or do you just like get a
I
bucket
see that
of water?
kind of a campaign.
It depends on the set. Yeah, no.
Just get a bucket of water and just right. Everyone good to start? Okay, cool.
Now, did everyone go swimming beforehand? Oh my god, you didn't. That's
Straight
one
out.
thing.
You just play in a pool
Yeah,
with the
cute.
floats.
A jacuzzi. Oh,
A very
Ooh.
pruny campaign.
That would
Very,
be
very
actually kind of
pruny.
fun. Yeah, so
a very pruny campaign.
Mm.
It's that's wonderful. But apart from being wet or dry, yeah, no, I'm doing my best to like finish like an entire map of the world like right now. It's called Azaroon. And it's got some fun stuff in there. You've got all of your classic D&Ds, like your elves and your and your orcs and whatnot.
All wet.
All wet, yes. There's a lot of
that goes without saying, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, my one of my big DM goals is to like properly finish that and know exactly what's going on in that world and like have it completely mapped out, and then so we could be like, oh, what's going on in the south of the world, and I'll be like, well, right now there's an economy crisis and like stuff like that. Like that's my goal at the moment.
It's I find it quite fun, and I don't know how you plan these kind of things, but I find it quite fun. Like world events are always like a big fun thing for me, and it sounds like you did a similar thing, like you said, like, you know, they have like a crisis in the south, like an economy crisis. Do you ever like plan specific events and just kind of go like, I'm gonna wait for like the right moment, or you know, because I love it when like a big thing happens in a city that's like not related to the adventurers, because I just feel like it's such a fun plot hook when it's like you know, the vault blows up, you know, or whatever, like you're across the street and the bank blows up and like loads of people run out and you're like, what?
It's like a superhero moment.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And but then maybe you're like, hey, the vault's open. Depending. It depends on what your players are up to or what they fancy doing.
Yeah, no, that is also a really fun thing. Part of like you just like, oh, I'm gonna pop this here for them to do some heroic stuff, and then they're like, oh, what if we rob it? And I'm like, fine, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine too.
Okay,
you
cool. I
want.
made all of these NPCs really lovable and gave them good, healthy backstories.
Are you big
They
on like
have such a rich
consequences?
vibe.
Like if they do choose to rob the bank, is it like, well, okay, you better hope there aren't any witnesses?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this one time, so we were playing The Curse of Strahd, and yeah, it's good stuff. And they were like, oh, can we, my party was like, oh, can we go to like an apothecary or something? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then as you do, like I made up like a really weird little guy who was the apothecary behind the desk, and he was weird. He was like a little bit creepy, but he was harmless enough because obviously he would be a little bit creepy because it's the world
The
of
apothecary
Barovia.
man.
I mean, a little old man and an apothecary. It's not going to be normal.
No, exactly. He's not just going to be like, oh, that's Jeff. That is. Don't worry about him. Yeah, no. But,
oh yeah, that's Chet. He's just a normal dude.
That's Chad.
Hey, dude.
Hey, it's me. I run an apothecary.
Run to my apothecary, dude.
Love to have you. Copacetic.
Welcome to Barovia, bros.
Have you met
Barovia? You know what I mean, dudes?
Oh yeah. Oh, love Chet.
That is a truly awful crossover, which I do not need. Please continue.
Barovia.
Barovia. Oh god, so horrible.
Oh, you could do a lot with that though. No,
yeah,
but yes.
you could. Sadly,
everybody there is like Strahd is like
Strahd. Oh
Hey,
my
dude.
god. Strahd, instead of like a harem of like wives, he's just got loads of like hot boys, like who are just like, hey bro, like we're Strahd's bros.
Yeah. Keeping
Yeah.
it strictly platonic, except when we don't.
Except for when we bone, bro. Yeah.
Which is
That's
like all the
chill,
time, dude.
Which is like most of the time. He's an ancient vampire who doesn't require sleep.
Oh, dude,
We
I
keep
have
it
an
open. We're
insatiable
very
hunger.
communicative.
It's not just for blood.
It's not just for blood, it's for brows too. Now I'm just thinking about the bros. What am I gonna do now? Like this is a whole campaign after
This
this.
is a whole campaign.
You need a bro. You need a bro apothecary, man. in
Yeah.
your-
Oh yeah,
in
you
your
were telling
game.
us about the creepy apothecary dude.
Sorry about that.
Could be a bunker, yeah. But yeah, so basically they were like, oh, we don't like this man. We're gonna like knock him out and rob him. So I was like, oh, okay, well, fine. I suppose that's okay.
It's a D&D party right here.
Oh yeah, no, you know it. I was like, yeah, well, I'm not surprised. So I think they were like, okay, cool, we're gonna cast like the silent spell. No, because like he cried out, because obviously it would, and then like they cast a silent spell, and I was like, fine, and then somebody tried to cast another spell, and I was like, you're in the silence cone, you can't do anything. And then like somebody was like, I was like, well, there were guards outside because I heard somebody scream. And then they rolled a natural 1 to try and persuade them that everything was fine. And I was like, oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Oh dang.
And yeah, so like I don't know how we got here, but basically
Consequences. We were talking about
Consequences.
yes, the consequences. Yeah, no, so yeah, so I think the others managed to like get a pardon from like the Burgermeister, that's what they're calling the town. But one of them just would not stop being the worst, and I was like, you're going in the stocks, I guess. You're in the stocks.
Yeah.
And this is and now everyone's having a fun time over in the tavern. And how bad do you feel?
I had a player
Roll a con
once-
save to hold your pee.
Yeah.
Stuck here.
I had a player
control
once
is awful. Yes.
be so chaotic and just sort of generally, like, I don't even know why, because he's like a super intelligent player. It was just this one character that he made just brought out the worst in him. Like, he just is like, if he could steal it, he stole it. If he could rub someone up the wrong way, he would. Like, every single, and it got to a point where they were getting, basically there was the real ruler of this particular like town was an ancient gold dragon who could transform into a human. This huge like 7 foot tall black guy with like a bald head and all this like gold trim. looked
Nice.
extremely fucking rad, right?
Yeah.
But he was clearly like a don't fuck with me kind of guy, right? And it got to a point where I remember him looking, he turned to me and was just like, I think I know the fate of my character. That was what he said. He then walked into this exchange where he had to basically give this gold dragon like all this stuff they'd found. And he was like, oh, I'm just going to hold on to these things. And I was like, what?
What do you
And he was
mean?
like, no, I'm gonna try and just like I'm gonna try and basically give him like half the stuff and just pretend that I haven't like got we didn't get everything.
What?
Yeah.
And I remember being like,
Cool.
and I remember being like, I thought it was like, oh, I was like, I see what's happening here. I think that I think he knows. Like, I think this is over for him. And we just came to like an unspoken agreement that his character was gonna die that day. And basically, long story short, the gold dragon had a passive perception of like 20 something, and cut to him proudly walking out of the town away from his party members. He just abandoned his party at this point, and I narrated that the last thing he saw was a pair of gold wings. And he was like, fair enough. And then he rolled a new character. So yeah, I'm very hard on consequences because I was like, you know what, bro, you done goofed too many times now.
Yeah, like I worry that like I try to keep my characters, you know, reasonable when they do stupid things. Like my Bogue, that's what she is. Yeah, my Bogue. Like she'll piss people off. She will, you know, do stupid things, and I worry that because she's quite liked within the group, I'm like, is my DM going easy on me because she's a little bit of a shit? So like, like, should she be getting in more trouble or what is the deal?
Just wait till you're DM'd by Jeremy. That'll clarify that for you, Liv. Don't worry.
Okay, interesting. So I take her to your game. I do the exact same thing and see how long she lasts. Got it.
Yeah.
She may not die, but she would suffer consequences.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jeremy's a consequence DM, and I think, hey, look, it's a positive thing. I like the consequences. It makes it fun,
too.
and it stopped some of my bullshit moves that don't often work. So that's good.
It has resulted in some truly memorable moments.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, she did get peed on once. That was kind of the like in
Was
that
she,
like
Was she at a death
purpose?
metal concert?
no,
Yeah,
she was
oh,
not,
no. Oh no.
Oh, I mean that's happened to me in just like a typical rock concert. Somebody threw like a bottle overhead and it was yeah, it was terrible. But
I think Jasper was referencing an actual incident in which the lead singer of a band,
Yeah.
Wait, what?
like a fan came up on stage and the lead singer peed on him.
Yeah.
that's
Straight up.
that's not what you paid for.
It was quite funny. It was quite funny. I was actually listening to someone talk
Apparently
about
this
the other
person was
day.
into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think like, and generally you're at a death metal gig. I think a lot of people there were probably been kind of into it. Like I think there's like, no, I'm just saying
Death
you.
metal and water sports. Big
No.
crossover.
Yeah.
I'm making the point that I think that if you're going to see a particular band, like you don't go from 0 to peeing on someone. You know what I mean?
True.
I
True.
feel like we were probably
This
already
was
at
not
like,
a Yo-Yo Ma concert.
yeah, do you know what I mean? You probably this band, they must have had some reputation for doing some things. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it would just, if this is the first time they've done anything wild on stage, I'd be blown away. I feel like it's probably more the external reaction which has caused controversy. I reckon everyone at the concert was probably like, yeah,
Yeah.
do it again, do me.
Woo!
You know what I mean?
Me next.
Me next.
The lead singer just downing
Guzzling
bottles of
water.
Were you not familiar with this band then? Was this just like a friend gave you a spare ticket and you were like, oh, okay, I guess I'll
Yeah,
tag along.
imagine that would have been. Imagine. Yeah. Oh,
Happy
Oh.
birthday.
We've all been
Oh.
there. We've all been there. Okay, wait. This is the last silly story that I promise I'll tell in this episode.
Oh.
But this one is
no.
so funny. Basically, me, two of my friends, shout out to Alec and Baker, who I went to drama school with. We lived in a house together at uni, and we are like the three of the most like middle class sounding guys you could ever imagine. And we were sat there at like 10:30 on a Saturday night. And we were thinking, what are we doing? Like we're at uni, we're young, we should be out. And so we were like, cool, let's go out. Anyway, we were like, we couldn't find anywhere that would let us in, and we ended up finding this one place in Camden, which was open. I think it was called like the Purple Turtle or something like this. And you couldn't hear any music from the outside, right? It was like, and we were like, it sounds kind of quiet. We were like, oh, it's fine. We'll go in here, get a drink, and then maybe if it's like super quiet, we'll see if we can find somewhere else. Bear in mind, I'm wearing this like proper nice button-up cream coat, and Alec is wearing a bright magenta knitted sweater, like jumper. We had to pay like £10 for entry because it was Camden, and the doors open and it was just like, and we were like, and literally it was like something out of the In-Betweeners where the three of us walked in and just went, oh no, this isn't for us.
You had to stay there because you paid £10.
And we paid £10 to get in, so you better know.
No.
This was over Christmas as well, and we ended up getting really into it because the drinks were super cheap. We ended up getting mosh pits. My friend's jumper was ripped and was whipped around the singer's head because he somehow got it at some point. It was a very fun night, but it was hilarious. So I guess it is possible.
And now you're engaged to the lead singer after.
Exactly, yeah. Jade is the lead singer of that. She
peed on you at the club.
And it was that point that I knew I belonged to her. So
yeah. This one's mine. Stay away.
She's marking her territory. Yeah.
Jade's gonna kill me for that because just to clarify, everyone, that's not true.
Not even remotely.
Not even remotely true.
Which is why I made the joke. That's like the opposite of Jade.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So sorry.
No, it's all right.
We're supposed to be talking about your DM style.
Yeah, no. Honestly, this is quite like my DM style. I think somebody described it recently as, I think I've mentioned this before. I might have mentioned it already in this conversation. I don't remember, but
we've been to a lot of places in this conversation, so I don't blame you.
But yeah, somebody was just like, I'm just kind of like, somebody's like, oh, can I do this? I'm like, yeah, why not? Yeah, okay, go for it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, just screw it. Let's go. And like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's pretty much my DM style in a nutshell. Yeah.
Do you like when you have that approach, is like the idea that you're trying to just keep things moving? Because I know like sometimes considering stuff I don't know, can put like brakes on the game sort of. Yeah. Or is it more just like, I like the free flowing, who knows what's gonna happen, who knows what they'll ask for, who knows what I'll allow, like just
who knows? I don't even know. I think it's a bit of both.
We end up in the purple turtle by the end of the session.
Yeah, exactly.
The purple turtle's got to be a tavern in an upcoming
it's such a cute sounding name. I really like it.
But when you think about it, perfect name for like a heavy metal like club.
Yeah,
it sounds. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, no. I'd go there. Yeah, I mean, I would still be surprised. I'd be surprised about the heavy metal like emanating. But like after a while, I'd get used to it. I'd be into it.
Yeah, we just got into it.
Yeah.
But you were saying, Liv, about like the goal.
So like it's a bit of both, because if somebody's like, oh, can I do this, and then I'm just like, well, technically that spell's not used for this, so like it's not really in the wording of the spell, then I'm just gonna not only slow the roll of everything, but like kind of bum people out because their ideas aren't being listened to. So
I feel like it's either a yes or a hard hell no.
Yeah.
Like obviously not.
Like if somebody's just like, oh, can I like do something ridiculous, I'm just like, absolutely not. What do you think I am? Some kind of
Can I reduce 0 hit points? No. What do you mean?
Absolutely not.
Can I just reduce? No. Fight them. Roll initiative, damn it.
Propriety must be observed. You get way more posh. Propriety must be observed.
Like,
how are you with the rules then, Liv, in that respect? Like, because I tend to find I'm only really strict with the rules when I feel like it's a balance issue in the party. Like if I feel like I'm going to underpower someone if I give someone something or let them do something. But otherwise I'm pretty relaxed. How do you navigate the rules in that sense?
I try to stick to I like to think that because I've watched a lot of actual plays and a lot of played a lot of D&D by now, I like to think that I'm pretty good with the rules, and I know them quite well. So if something strikes me as like silly, then I'll just let people have fun. I just want people to have fun with it. Like when my group of high school friends, that I was like, hey, it's a really cool way to hang out, to just play D&D. Like I guarantee you'll enjoy it. Just like let me DM a few sessions for you. And like there are a few things like how drow will have disadvantage on like everything if they like stay out in the sun or something like that. And I was like, my friend wants to play a drow. I'm not gonna do that to them. You know, like
That's just also some straight up BS. So
yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Like,
yeah. If it's BS, then I'm.
They can wear sunglasses, folks. Just give them some sunglasses.
White brimmed hat, it's fine. Like it's so fine.
A lovely little sun hat. It's great. But yeah, like stuff like that. Like I'm just I'm lenient until it would be ridiculous to, you know, just let people do what they want, I guess. Although I do want them to do what they want. I'm not a rules lawyer, basically.
I think if you set up the rules in a certain way, then you kind of can let players do whatever they want. Do you know what I mean? Because unless they are, like you said, like trying to completely reword a spell or something that's just like, that's obviously not what that does, then generally they can do whatever they want. It is just like, you might die if you do that though.
just like letting you know. I do have an example of something really that I'd never heard of before, and this was the group of my group of high school friends who had never like played before this, and so they were facing like was it a gorgon? I think it was a gorgon. But it was like the big ball that turns people to stone.
Oh, the beholder. Wait,
no,
can the beholder petrify people?
It has a petrifying ray, but I don't think it's like that's its explicit power.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was petrification going on basically, and it was a big ball thing. And my the party was just like, hey, you know, we got like that bracelet in some loot before. And I was like, yes. Like, is it made of metal?
Sounds bad.
Yeah. Is it made of metal? Yes. And then they were like, is this ball anatomically correct? And I was like, what do you mean, is this ball anatomically correct? So they were like, if we were to put this bracelet on in a place that would really, you know, where the sun don't shine, like basically, and then cast heat metal on it, how would that work out? And I was like, okay, give me an animal handling check and see how this goes.
Oh no.
And they rolled really well on the animal handling check.
Roll to locate
course.
its genitalia.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Let's roll a quick genital check on this one.
I was like, there must be a way I can get can this ball get it off? No, they can't. It's stuck. This is it. This is how this ball dies.
That's horrifying.
Wow.
It was a lot. So it was like, maybe I
took a terrible turn.
I know.
You sat there like, you're the monsters.
Yeah, that's
you're the bad guy.
I need to send a group of PCs after you.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is like peak D&D though. If you think of like people slapping a metal like people like, so can we burn? Can we burn
heat metal, man. I want to put out.
I want to burn a stick off real quick.
I really want to put out like a something against heat metal. Like it's so good a combo. Like I put a knife in it and then I heat the metal up. Yeah, I put a knife where they can't reach.
I used to absolutely cheese that move with Jasper.
You and Johnny just used to absolutely kick the crap out of me just doing that over and over again.
Yeah, that was not fair. Basically, what I would do is
truly.
I had an near unlimited supply of daggers, and I was a monk, and I would throw the daggers into something.
Oh yeah.
And then Johnny, our bard, would cast heat metal on it, and the thing wouldn't be sometimes it wouldn't have arms, so it can't pull the thing out. It's just stuck inside. Or we did it on a ship once.
He'd actively target the bits that they wouldn't be able to reach. Like I'd be like, oh, well, okay, you got to roll something to be more accurate, and of course he did it every time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah,
that's the dice were on my side.
Because if there's one thing we know about Dennis Coldspring, he rolls real well in combat, but like absolute trash out of combat. Dennis Coldspring's non-combat rolls were laughably bad.
They were legendarily bad. It was
literally like there was like a session. We were in a city and we were they were trying to it led to some real bad consequences actually. They were trying to ascertain what was going on with these weird cloaked figures that were like hanging around. And Jeremy went off on his own and didn't go into combat once, but did not roll above a 5. Like, it was
Yeah.
obscene. It was
Yeah.
obscene.
It was-
Multiple persuasion checks. He ended up giving up some of his blood to clearly an evil vampire type being, which ended up then killing one of the NPCs that they knew and treasured.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Oh,
so bad.
no.
It went
It
so
was
bad.
terrible. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
and the thing is, I had good stats.
Yes.
I had great wisdom, really, like, I had good perception, good insight.
Solid charisma. Like, it was just...
Yeah, I could. I think I had the slippers of spider climb by this point.
Yes.
So I could like climb walls to surveil people.
Yeah, you still
Could
nearly
not
fell off
buy a good
several.
roll.
You still nearly fell off the roof like several times.
It made no
Because
sense.
you
And
kept
yet I would
failing.
hit like 80 to 90% of my attacks. Like so
Yeah.
frequently monsters would fail the saves against stunning strike. Like I had
Yeah.
the best luck in combat, out of combat, utter buffoon. And there was nothing we could do.
It was so
Oh, you
funny.
roll that niche and it all gets real. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Until we got to the business rolls. Then they got good.
Yeah.
Until
yeah,
my
yeah.
character started to turn into Lex Luthor in the latter
Ooh.
half of the, it was like somewhere between like Lex Luthor or Bruce Wayne. We weren't
Mhm.
sure, but I started like amassing an empire of wealth and like I had an army of
I had to
of
make business
urchins.
mechanics for Jeremy.
I had a clothing label that I was working with.
It just hit me what you said. A clothing label.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
invented
was
suits in this world.
Oh wow. What an enterprising
invented-
fellow. Wow.
Yeah, little Black
Halfling.
little enterprising Black Halfling. I had all kinds of merchandise. It was Dennis Cold Spring Industries. I had an army of little
Mhm.
street urchins that I basically was like, hey, look, I will pay all of you and you can come work for me and live in like the quarters that I'm giving you. Like it's way nicer than where you're living right now. I had a hotel that I think
And
they
they
were
are
allowed to live
fully the
in.
mafia now as well. These like little urchins.
Yeah, because
like,
they were
they're
being
like,
trained
oh.
as monks.
Oh right.
I had them
so
being trained
you
as
don't-
monks.
honestly, like right now they are somewhere being like, oh, so you didn't think you were gonna pay Dennis back? That's interesting. That's really. Let's examine this, shall we? Let's examine the scenario that you're in, and as that happens, two more urchins step out of the shadows behind the person. You know what I mean?
Cracking
Like
their
that's
knuckles,
literally
yeah.
what's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab onto their like knees, like that's as high as they can reach.
Yeah.
It's like, get off of me! Like 40 urchins swarm over them, just stabbing with little
So
So
daggers.
adorable and terrifying.
And terrifying.
Ooh.
I don't
like
know
the
why
little
as well. I think
kid-
I always described them wearing basically like potato sacks. They're like
Yeah.
they are full urchins as well. They're not even just like normal children. They are literally like wearing burlap sacks.
I had an image of like Half Squat from Tropic Thunder, the little child that like Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Oh,
No, it's not Robert
yeah.
Downey Jr.'s character. It's Ben Stiller's character tries to adopt.
Yeah.
But like
I
at the
remember
end
that.
of it, like Half Squat is like stabbing him just
Yeah.
repeatedly. He's like, "Ow, stop!" Imagine
Yeah.
like
That's
30
exactly
or
it.
40 of those children just charging in with the tiny little daggers.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah, it's very sinister. It was a very
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have gone either way.
It was a bad thing. It was a real bad thing. Many of the other PCs were like, I think we should stop this at some point. This will need to stop.
We've got other stuff on. We'll get back to it when we can. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Liv, I wanted to ask real quick.
Yeah.
Do you have any preferred monsters that you like to use as a DM?
Ooh, yes.
And then secondly, as a player, are there any specific races or classes that you really enjoy playing?
Oh, amazing. Oh, I'll start with the monsters one because like that one is quite interesting. I started doing I did start, but then everything got in the way. Like with life,
that
doing
happens.
like a session where I would I asked my players to like create characters, and then literally it was just like, hey, you've been teleported to an arena, and you're here now, and there's some kind of like higher power watching you and like trying to see if you survive different like enemies. So like what did I have? I had like a pit fiend that it was basically
Ooh,
yeah, right?
fun.
that was super fun. Like basically it's anything that I really wanted to try, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. A Leviathan, I had them like I had them
Whoa.
like transport like the arena turned into a huge sailboat, and they were just like it all like flickered and turned into like the sea and like water, and it was all interactable.
Ship battles are so
Everything
much
was
fun.
wet. You're saying the party was
Everything
wet.
oh my god, the pie was wet. Yeah, exactly. It's a full circle.
But the
Um,
Leviathan, so dry. So
super
dry.
Yeah, like
Like needs some shea butter.
Slapping around,
like,
yeah.
now, you know, real bad.
Mhm.
That guy is ashy.
He's
That is
a
an
real
ashy
ashy
Leviathan.
Oh.
He's dusty.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's just the party moisturizing him, honestly. There's not even
Yeah,
combat
yeah,
involved.
Mhm.
Just lotioning up the Leviathan, oiling him up.
The lotion Leviathan. Yeah, the double L. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I wish
And
I
then
would- I
in
would
terms of
do that.
races,
Yes. What? Yes. In terms of races.
not like that. That's not what I meant. In terms of D&D races and classes. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, in terms of dealing races and classes, I'm always playing a rogue. Like, it's gone to the stage where I
Jasper's face. You will fit right in as the third
Yeah, I was
halfling.
gonna say. I was like, oh, perfect. So the Nazi previously famously was a cat, had knives, and was probably a rogue.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, you'll fit in
I-
perfectly.
it's just like I'm sitting down and making a character. I'm like, why would I not be a rogue? Why would I not?
I
do
gotta be
that?
honest. I've started missing rogues. I've
Yeah.
gone long enough without a rogue now that I'm like, ooh,
got that.
maybe a rogue.
Yeah.
I played a rogue recently.
Mhm.
I was an Owlin rogue,
Mm.
and
Oh.
my name was Paul McCluckney. It was for a
Love it.
one shot, and I was an owl who had mistakenly been left, or an owlin who had mistakenly been left in a chicken coop and grew up with chickens
Oh.
before eventually realizing that I enjoyed the taste of chickens. And
Oh.
I fled. I ate all the chickens in the coop. I ate the whole coop and then fled and had just been hunting furry people and things in the woods
Mhm.
ever since. And that was that was me.
When you
That was
think
it.
about the context, that's a terrifying backstory. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul
I ate-
McCluckney had a dark past.
Yeah, I ate my childhood friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Do you have a particular subclass that you like? A roguish.
roguish. I mean, like, well, assassin is so good. It's
Assassin is so spicy to multi-class. Like if you dip a like the assassin ranger combo, like boy. I think it's actually still probably the most overpowered thing I've ever played. Is the
Just for pure damage output.
pure damage. Yeah. The Gloomstalker ranger
yeah.
and the assassin rogue is just like because like the Gloomstalker is like every time you act first in combat, you crit on everything you hit.
That's the assassin.
Oh, is that?
The
Oh, so
assassin
that and then
the
oh yeah, that's
assassin is
it.
if you have surprise.
Oh, that was it.
you
But then
cr- you auto crit.
the ranger like can't be spotted. Basically, has ridiculous bonuses to all kinds of stealth. It's very broken.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
Assassin's
Oh,
pretty good.
Jasper, I remember you saying that you don't enjoy warlocks. That's a thing, right? Why is that?
Well, I think we need to get into this into like the warlock episode. I think,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's a part of a very top line. I think mechanically, I've never found them particularly fun because I feel like you're so limited on the number of spells that you have, and then they feel a little squishy and stuff. And then I also just think the main gripe I have with them is I think it puts so much onus on the DM to provide so much stuff. Like, and if they don't, then I think that warlocks become a lot less interesting than other classes. Because like if you have just like if your patron is just like super 2D, then it just becomes kind of like really boring and kind of irritating for the player who's just like, oh, I have to like kill someone now, otherwise I'll lose all my powers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
The
you do
invocations
need-
are really cool, but the limited
Invocations
spell
are super
slots and the centralization around Eldritch Blast.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it
Yeah.
it makes it kind of in saying that I did have a fun time playing Yelkash, who was a genie.
Oh
warlock,
yeah,
which
like a
felt
djinn or whatever.
yeah, the djinn, yeah.
Genie.
which was fun.
Barlock.
A Barlock. Yeah, 'cause it was
Barbarian
barbarian.
Warlock.
Barbarian Warlock.
Oh.
And I made a trade off with my DM where basically I didn't take a feat and instead I was allowed to use cantrips whilst raging, which was super fun.
Oh, that's super cool.
It was a fun
Oh,
little
wow.
trade off that.
That'd be a little
It's like an
compromise, yeah.
Eldritch Blast whilst angry.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Eldritch
Um,
Smash. But yeah, no, I so one of my favorite characters I have is an Asimar who is a celestial warlock, which fits quite well with her whole vibe.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a spicy little combo. Actually,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But also the thing about her is that like so her whole thing is that she's a fallen Azamar. She fell from above when she was found out to be having like a relationship from somebody who was like basically from like the circles of hell. So there was a whole Romeo Juliet thing going on there, so she was outcast because of that. And then of course she has amnesia and she doesn't realize that her patron is her lover, because when she fell, he jumped after her and like basically like he was like, pledge yourself to me, and she was like, okay, and then like she forgot everything after that when she
That's sick.
Yeah, right?
That is so
That's really
baller.
cool.
That is
I like
really
that.
baller. I like that a lot.
I have been I'm gonna tell people who I play this character with not to listen to this episode, because I've been waiting for so long for the reveal and it's just not come. But like, yeah, so basically because she doesn't know who her patron actually is, she's just there like, I'm gonna try and do this, I don't know if it's gonna work, and then she's just there like, hey, little help, anyone? I don't know who you are, what is this?
Whoa.
Yeah,
I like this. This is a really cool
that's
idea.
Really cool.
Yeah? Oh,
It's
thank
really
you.
cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, so she's great. She's very sweet. She's basically a cleric, but she has a demon patron. So yeah.
Sweet. Is there any
I'd love to see it.
classes that you have yet to play, or like anyone that you really want to play? I'm just thinking, you know, can we get the halflings a little hyped about what Liv might play? You know what I mean? Like what might be in the oven, mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
What am I thinking? I haven't played an artificer until very recently. I now have a Harangon artificer, which I'm very excited about.
Nice.
She's great. She's got a lovely southern twang, and she's just very sweet and very intelligent, and it's great. So that's what I was meaning to play for a while. I've finally done it. I've never played a sorcerer, which is wild.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of fun stuff that can be done there. So a sorcerer is definitely on my radar. Yeah. I've never successfully played a wizard.
That's quite funny.
The
onus, I
use
think,
of
is
the term successfully.
Yeah, the onus is on DM as well with wizards though, because they aren't the easiest in terms of like making them fun and viable. You know, if your DM's not forthcoming with like opportunities for you to learn spells and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Here's another question: is there any rules specifically that you would like to employ within your
home
games?
rules?
Any homebrew rules?
Yeah.
Any rules that you don't like, and you just go, no, we're gonna ignore that.
This is a very minor one, but I will mention it before I go into my spicy one.
Spicy.
So
Spicy.
cats don't have dark vision, and that's silly.
Yes.
So cats have dark vision. That's
Jeremy
it.
I was like, you rule if they don't, and then
No,
I totally agree, they should.
That was so funny. Jeremy
So
just
it's
Jeremy did the full meme of that woman who was like, well, no, like he just ran a
Pikachu
gamut of
face and-
faces.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the thing that I'm like, nah, they stay out in the dark, they can see. But my spicy rule is that, so if you are rolling to like evade, if you are like rolling against like an area of effect, if you roll a natural 20, I rule that you don't take any damage. That is my that's my spicy rule that people are like, no, you have to take all the, it's still half damage. But I'm like, you rolled a natural 20. Like, you gotta do something nice.
Sure.
I have played in a game where that was the rule, and it all the fact that I was playing a rogue made it bug me, because I'm like, well, you just took one of my cool class abilities, and it's like, well, now anybody can get it.
See, that's what I mean. That's
the
the only scenario where I would do that in a game in which there was no one was playing
A
rogues.
rogueless and monkless game.
Yeah, if that was a rogueless and monkless game, then I'd have no problem with that as a rule.
Yeah, but people just want to be hurt, apparently. And people are like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, you know, natural 20 is really cool, so like make it really cool.
So by the same token, surely if you roll a natural 1,
you are immediately
take
dead.
double damage.
Interesting.
Your players are like, Why? Why did you say this?
That would be so terrible.
Imagine
AoE spells
getting-
become so strong now. Like
That
they
would
already
be-
were good, but it was like
That would be what if you're rolling an AoE with disadvantage.
Mhm.
That truly becomes a life or death scenario. Like if a
Yeah.
dragon is just
Yeah.
like, bah! Like, okay, this could be it.
This is how I die, right? Okay.
you automatically take max damage on the attack. Just like
Oh.
Oh dear.
you're just
No, that
sitting
makes it
there,
even more
single
crazy.
tier.
Oh my god, yeah, max damage on a breath weapon would be.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look this up real quick because I don't remember how much. I don't remember how much like a red dragon hits for.
Do like an ancient red
See,
dragon, see what it hits for.
An ancient red dragon. I was just gonna do adult. Here's an ancient.
Ah,
Here,
we like the big ones.
Yeah.
the ancient red dragon hits for 26d6 fire
What?
damage.
What do you mean?
Good lord.
26d6. So
No.
20d6 would be 120 damage. So that's 156, I think. Fire damage.
Isn't that more than like the max
No,
possible
I'm
falling
wrong,
damage
'cause-
ever, right?
No, it's 156. Yeah. What?
Wow. Isn't there like a limit to like the amount of falling damage you can take? That's the
Yeah,
thing,
it's
right?
supposed to be 20d6. So that's
Yeah.
greater than the
26.
max.
So it is
not-
greater
so
than
if
max
you were to-
falling.
If you were to fall off of a mountain, it would be less
It would
damage.
hurt less.
Yeah, than that.
I
And the
mean, the
flame
thing-
from this creature.
Well, okay, but actually, wait. If you follow this, there is like actually some semi logic here because if you fall from out, like let's go on the assumption that you are a superhuman adventurer type, Goliath, whatever it is, and you fall from a mountain and you hit the floor. Like I feel like there is some semblance of realism that you could survive on the basis that you have like you are extremely sturdy and do you know what I mean? You might be broke.
Yeah.
But like you might survive, you know what I mean? You might be a crushed mess at the bottom, but you'll survive. Whereas if you were just straight getting cooked by a dragon, by an ancient dragon, just a persistent flame, just like flamethrower on you,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know that you survive. I don't like your skin would just melt from your body, and you would be puddle.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
At least you can save from that, I suppose, as well. So that's good. You can't
Yeah.
save from the ground.
It's
Maybe it's
unlikely
like
you're
a-
gonna get an that one.
It's like a nuclear blast.
Mm.
Theoretically, the dragon's flame.
Yeah, that's what it
I
feels
think is
like.
what we're talking about. Like
Yeah,
a
that feels
90-foot
like a nuke.
nuclear blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that feels like a bit of a nuke in the
Little bit.
D&D world.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 150. Imagine if you rolled a 1 and your DM was like, you take 156 damage from an AoE.
I guess your wizard's done.
Wizard, man.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I mean,
Most
I
classes.
anything under level 14 is probably screwed.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of like
probably-
you'd be instant down
If
for
this,
a
if this was,
lot of characters.
yeah, and actually, in fact, if you were a wizard, you're actually a pile of ash that is dead. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say,
your
like,
max has been succeeded.
doubled. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it's something like that, would you kind of rule that they are a pile of ash and there's no way a revivify is gonna work? Like, because it's a big gold flame, like
You could, but the thing is that's already in the rules when it comes
Oh,
to disintegrate, because
Ah.
disintegrate like reduces them to a pile of ash.
Mm.
But I don't know.
It's a
You
wish
could-
spell, right? I think it's
Yeah, I
pretty
think
much a wish
disintegrate-
spell at that
Mm.
point.
Let me. It may. Yeah, I don't
think it
know.
even
Let me see if True
specifies-
Resurrection hurts.
I'm
or
pretty
True
sure-
Resurrection works.
I'm pretty sure it says in there. It says like only X or X could bring them back.
Mm-hmm. So
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
True
sure-
Resurrection or a wish
wish
spell can
spell,
bring you
yeah.
back
I
from
thought so.
disintegrate.
Yeah.
So I maybe I don't know.
'Cause-
Does raise? I don't think raise dead would work. Let me see.
No,
if
because I
Resurrection
think
would
True
work.
Resurrection is the only thing that actually restores body parts.
Yeah, you just need to have like a bit of them, right? Or do you
Yeah.
have, no.
Resurrection, I think
no.
restores body parts,
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
does.
Think it did. Oh.
Oh,
but you have to touch. Yeah, resurrection. You touch a dead creature that's been dead for no more than a century, that didn't die of old age, and that isn't undead.
okay.
So I guess theoretically, if you touch the pile of ash,
Yeah.
you could cast resurrection.
Well, I
on
guess the
pile
argument
of
would be
ash.
they are no longer the person. That is no longer a
Mm.
dead body. That is a pile
It's-
of ash.
It's not really. Yeah, it's not really a creature.
That's not really
Yeah.
a creature anymore.
And then
Reincarnation
the dragon
is
flies
your best
away,
bet.
and then it
Yeah.
beats its wings, and the dust is gone. Like it's yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Actually, as soon as that dragon takes off, your friend is gone forever.
No,
Just diving towards this pile of ashes. The wizard.
Bilberry, no.
Whilst we were having this conversation, I did genuinely think of a really fun thing, which your thing where you said you like teleported them to like a stadium or whatever. I love the idea of trying to like make each of us makes a min-max character and then tries to run a gauntlet and see how far into the gauntlet each of our characters gets before they die.
Oh dang!
That would be super fun, right?
I would love that. That sounds.
And we could take it in turns to DM. You know.
Oh wow!
And like Jeremy, if
be
you
cool.
start, because then that way you will know how to play the monsters, and then me and Liv will know the moves to then use on you.
Yes, that would actually be really cool. Yeah,
that'd be quite fun. And then we could see who could make the character that gets the furthest, like who makes it to the pit fiend. You know,
Yeah.
and then,
and then
'cause
with
they
those
will
same
get-
characters, we bring somebody else in and they run a halfling battle royale.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the ultimate showdown. Yeah,
I've always wanted to do like a Royal Rumble style thing where like you actually have to like either beat them up or like throw them out of the ring, or like I like the idea of there being more rules too. But you'd have to have like a loads of people together. But man, it'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Like just tagging people at the table. Like when you're out, you just tag someone else in. You know what I mean?
That would be
Like,
you're
I'm
trying
down.
to your character's trying to crawl over to the edge of the ring to tag in.
Yeah.
Like, can he make it? Can he make it? And they ding, and the new character comes in, and it's like,
oh my god.
somebody, Randy Orton shows up just as a character, RKOs somebody, just out of nowhere.
Oh man,
That's really fun. I also kind of want to do like a similar thing, like against like a Tarask, but like everyone is like level 20, and like because I've never gotten to level 20. I've never ever gone.
I've never. Nope, don't think I've ever played a level.
Yeah, I've
20
never.
character.
I don't think I've ever played a level 20 character.
Wow.
Okay, right now, each of you, if you had to play a level 20 character, what would you play? Bear in mind, some familiarization with the character would probably be important, given that you're jumping straight to level 20.
Yes.
Like, what would you be like most confident just going bam level 20 character?
I think a non-spellcaster would be the easiest.
Yeah, definitely.
Because with a spellcaster, you just have piles of spells that you have to choose from. So unless you like have set spells that you know are your go-tos, it's just always going to take longer.
Well, yeah, even if you, that you can include that. You can include your knowledge. I'm just saying, like, if you were to right now make a level 20 character, what would you be like most confident jumping in and like?
Rogue assassin, probably. Like it's just like you can't roll below a 10, and also you have a bunch of d6s. Okay, cool. Like
Sure, yeah.
Maybe like a wizard or a cleric.
Yeah.
I haven't played wizard a lot, but the kinds of spells you can get are just crazy.
that was
So-
time stop.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Oh,
that.
And like
that's
if you say
right.
you're like a chronergy wizard or something, or a divination wizard, so like even if you're fighting somebody who gets the drop on you, you're like, cool, so now you roll this,
Yep.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh
Or
Yeah.
Okay.
wish spell.
yeah.
I'm now
that's
fighting
true.
a bunny.
yeah, oh well, that's even polymorph.
True polymorph.
You cast
yeah,
True
polymorph on him,
polymorph.
so
Yeah.
you-
Oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
true polymorph. What a
Mhm.
what a get out of jail free card of a spell that is. Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Banishment as
you
well.
make them into like a slug. You grab the slug and you're just like teleporting on the battlefield, staying away from anybody else attacking you until
Yeah.
they're stuck as a slug.
yeah, because you've got to do it for like an hour or something, right? They've got to stay without taking damage.
Yeah, something like that. Or like
like the
banish.
duration.
You can also banish
Yeah.
people.
Mm.
That's
That's the
another big
thing.
one.
Like that made me think that like a cleric would also be really good. Like just having the ability to like resurrect. You can I just go around like, okay, I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring you
Oh
back.
my god! Imagine Liv just jumps on the pit fiend, resurrects it, or whatever. On its own. Just
You
like,
make
oh,
friends
no!
with the pit feed, and the two
Yeah.
of you together are like
Let's
charging at
go.
it.
That would be
That would
very
be-
fun.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
that would be
Mhm.
incredible.
That'd be pretty sick.
Jasper, what about you though?
I think I would go with I might go with a barbarian. I really want to play. I want to play a level 20 zealot barbarian. I think it'd
Oh
be
yeah. Just
so
can't
much because they
die.
basically just can't die. Like
Yeah.
that's what I think I would choose to run the gauntlet with. Is
nice.
a zealot barbarian. I think.
Mhm. Interesting. Thank you for the intel.
Yes.
They're really good. Yeah, that's I like that.
That's hard to
It's just very straightforward, simple.
Yeah.
Got to do huge amounts of damage and can't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can just get Boromir many times. And keep going, or Urukai at the at Helm's Deep. But I guess with
Yeah, you're
Zealot
the
Barbarian, you'd jump into the wall, the thing would blow up and you'd carry on.
Yeah. You would just
That's
stick
the
now.
ludicrous thing.
Just
You
running
would-
through beating people.
As
with
long as
just-
you're still raging, you'd still be going.
It's so cool.
And if somebody gives you could have
Whatever.
you could have basically failed all 3 death saves, and if somebody just hits you with like a healing word, you're back.
Yeah.
That's what's so ridiculous about that.
They're so good. Is that a
It's so good.
barbarian? A couple of potions. I'm set. Let's go.
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. What? How do you rage and take a potion? Just you just throw it in your face.
Oh, you just crunch the glass.
Yeah,
as
you-
well.
Yeah, you eat it like an apple.
It's like it's like the in the Grinch where he eats the is it the bauble that he eats?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
something like that. He smashes something up and then he just like, yeah, no. Totally. Mhm.
If you'd like to fact me, press a star key.
Yeah.
I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. Anyway,
Mhm.
I think truly this has been a perfect first episode for you, Liv. Like
I've had a
we
great
truly
time.
have gone anywhere and everywhere, which I think is so in keeping with the theme of 3 Black Halflings. Yeah, that
It's
feels very
definitely on
par.
brand.
Yeah, feels extremely
love-
on brand.
I feel right at home. I'm here in my little hobbit hole, my little halfing hole, and I'm loving it, loving life. Yeah.
I think as long as we aim for like a solid 10 to 15% of the episode being kind of on the topic that we set out at the beginning, then I'm
Yeah.
relatively happy.
Cool. Yeah, I can do that.
I think we've achieved that. I think we can say we've achieved that.
At least one kernel of wisdom
Yeah.
for people to take away.
Oh boy. Well, I think that's probably everything for this episode. I guess this is so weird. I'm so used to having a guest or having
Yeah.
it's been such a long time since we've had 3 halflings in the room. So
What a time to be alive.
we
What
need to
a time to be
refigure this
alive.
out.
Mhm.
Indeed.
We've refilled, we've re-upped on halflings.
Indeed.
Topped up,
Indeed.
glass half full.
Yeah.
Well, genuinely, I think I speak for all of our listeners. Thank you, Liv, for coming on board. We are very excited to be going on this extremely cool journey together, and just can't wait to do more awesome stuff with you and make some of this cool stuff that we've just been talking about. I think it's going to be truly epic, and I know for one, I can't wait to see what sick ideas Liv has for us as well.
Thank you for having me.
It's worth saying to the audience as well that part of the reason why we approached Liv for this is because Liv brings so much more to the table than just being an excellent co-host. So Liv is going to be super involved in helping us achieve some awesome stuff. So a huge thanks to you, Liv, for joining us, and I hope everyone will join me in welcoming you, and that your mentions are a flurry of positiveness when this is aired.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Speaking of dimensions, Liv, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, well, you can find me on Twitter at Does Dark Magic. That's me.
Does Dark Magic. You will be
Yeah.
officially added to every episode description.
Oh,
So
wow.
People could just click on.
I'll be
click on
down
the thing.
there.
Yay.
Cool.
Yeah. Jeremy, I do believe
Uh,
you're on the Twitters as well.
Yes, I am. People can find me at Jeremy Cobb1. Cobb with 2 B's and the number 1.
Ayo.
Yeah.
And
Jasper, where can they
Hey.
find you?
they can find me at JW_Cartwright. That's right. That's where you can find me. And this is very exciting. We have a slight change to our Twitter handle. We can now be
Yes,
found
as of today.
As of today, not that you know when this is being recorded, but as of today, you can find us at the number 3 Black Halflings. The number 3 Black Halflings. Because
Mhm.
that's what we are. 3 Black Halflings. The number 3 Black Halflings.
Mm.
Find us. Follow us. Retweet us. Like us.
Embrace us.
Embrace us.
Like us, for the love of God.
Please
and,
like us.
Please.
Help us dry off. Anyway, that is about everything for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Wait. Check out Patreon. Patreon.com/TB Halflings. And also check out
Yes.
our merch, because we also have merch in the description below. I always forget to plug those things, but we should, because
we
they're really
haven't
cool.
changed the Patreon name yet.
No, the Patreon name is still TB Halflings. I don't know if that one can be changed, but we'll see if it can. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of 3 Black Halflings. Welcome, a very, very warm welcome to Liv Kennedy. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you very soon. So long, Shire folk!
So long, Shire folk.
So long, Shire folk.
Da, 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 da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
That was a Headgum podcast.